Then let's wait for 5 minutes for the other attendees.
Sir Monichi, pa-add po dito si Miss Ems at saka si Ma'am Remy. Si Miss Ems po magbabasa ng introduction.
Okay.
Naka-live stream na ba?
Yan. Sino pa?
Si Ma'am Remy din po. Siya po yung magiging moderator natin. Tapos si Press po. Kasi mag-speech na naman kayo. Speech, short message.
Ako ulit? Pwede bang iba? Babasahin ko na ulit yung dati.
Oh, okay lang sir. 3 kasi. First 3 for the whole month of June ko. July ko.
Okay. Sandali. Ilalagay ko na sa Facebook. Ilalive ko na sa Facebook.
Hello, Ma'am Emma and Mami Remy. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good morning. Ay, good morning pala dito. Good evening, Jan.
Ganda-ganda ng resource speaker natin, no?
Good morning, Ma'am Javette.
Magandang
Parang hindi
gabi po, Jan.
Parang hindi alas 5 ng umaga dun sa kanila. Saan ba yan?
Ganyan talaga. Volunteerism pa din.
Really, 5 a.m. Ang aga.
Okay.
Hindi daw siya nakatulog. Kasalanan ni Sir Monichi yan. Siya padala mo nga ng kabsa.
Saka shawarma.
Di ba maraming dyan? Maraming South Asians dyan. So, may mga
Iba pa din dyan. Naka-live na ba tayo? Naririnig na tayo yata.
Yes. Naririnig na tayo ng lahat.
Good evening, attendees. We are just she's just reminiscing. Our speaker is just reminiscing the taste of Riyadh.
Yeah.
Yes, Miss Jocelyn Abag. She raised her hand. Ma'am, i-message nyo na lang po kung ano po yung question nyo. To our attendees, should you have any questions, please raise your hands or message us in the chat box. Okay po. Napindot lang daw po pala. Welcome to our 20 attendees. We're waiting for more attendees. To all our previous attendees during the talk of DTM James and Toastmaster Brian, please, I already have your email with me, so let me just finish some things and I will soon be sending you your e-certificates.
Thank you.
We are now live on Facebook.
Nache-check mo? Live na tayo?
It's lighting.
Live on Facebook.
All right. So, 2 more minutes, guys, and then we'll start. Yes. Gagawa pa ako ng poll questions.
To our attendees, you can invite your friends. This is open to all. Invite family members, invite friends, invite your neighbors.
By the way, guys, gusto ko lang sabihin na meron tayong attendees from the Philippines, from DepEd.
Wow.
Wow. Welcome po from our attendees. Welcome po sa mga attendees namin all the way from the Philippines, Department of Education.
Inibitahan sila ng ating former Board of Director, Mr. Nestor Malsi.
Nestor Malsi?
Opo.
Is he from Isabela, sir?
Hindi ko lang alam.
Okay, let's start. Is the president in? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third installment of ComSoFil Leadership Webinar Series. And today we have our very own and a very special, I said extra special guest. She was once with us here in ComSoFil here in Riyadh, but now she has moved to literally a greener pasture. A very green place. For the past 2 weeks, we had communicating across the organization, or communication across the organization. Then last week we had interpersonal skills. This week's talk is quite different, and we will know why it's quite different. But then again, there is an assurance that we will all learn from this. Please let us observe a few seconds of silence as we pray our own prayers. Amen.
Amen.
Please allow me to read this quotation. Don't approach life's challenges by being reactive. Be proactive. Prepare for the possibilities before they arrive. So it's all about how do we react to how things happen in our life, or how do you prepare for the things that will happen to our lives. Without further ado, I would like to welcome everybody on the third installment of our leadership series. Are you tested and positive? How to be proactive. To begin with, I would like to share the virtual platform to the Board of Trustees Chairman, Mr. Monichi Olanday, for his welcoming remarks. Sir.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our resource speaker, our fellow Board of Trustees, the Board of Directors in Riyadh chapter and in Kobar chapter, instructors, assistant instructors of both chapters, support staff, volunteers, attendees of the seminar from the Philippines, from some part of the Middle East, and wherever you are. Good evening po and welcome po sa ating pangatlong webinar. We wish you po na sa lahat ay safe po tayo amid this COVID-19 pandemic. In cooperations with your officers and our very own Toastmasters Club, the Toast of ComSoFil, the Board of Trustees has revived the yearly training. This yearly training is envisioned and developed for the society's officers, instructors, staffs, and volunteers to ensure that they have the requisite and necessary leadership and communication skills. One is to stay focused with the society's mission and vision. for our officers, instructors, and volunteers to be reminded to serve our members with the highest standard of community service. And third is to maintain efficiency in the operational aspect of the society. Of course, as mentioned earlier, this is a weekly series of seminars that encompasses various topics like parliamentary procedures. We also plan to have project management, and of course, leadership and communication skills that we had for the past three sessions. And also, we plan also for technology updates. So we encourage everyone to stay tuned for announcement, and we hope to see you attending all of our planned webinars. And again, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Back to you, TM Hans.
Thank you very much, Sir Wonichi Olanday. At this point, let's get to know more our resources speaker. Well, she may be a familiar face to some, but to our new attendees and to those na hindi na siya nasa Riyadh, let us prepare ourselves to get to know deeper who this lady is. But before that, please allow us to welcome the president of the board, president of Comsofil for the program year 2020, Sir Ramil Sumile. Sir, welcome. And may we have your short message, please?
Thank you, Sir Hans. Good evening, Miss Beautiful, Ma'am Jubit.
Good evening, Sir
Kumusta po?
Ramil. Mabuti
Kumusta
po.
po? Good evening to one and all. Welcome
evening,
to our third Comsofil webinar leadership series. To our beautiful guest speaker, DTM Ma'am Jubit, thank you and welcome. Sir Hans?
Thank you very much, Sir Ramil. At this point, let's get to know who our speaker is. I present to you the Board of Directors Secretary for the program year 2020, Ms. Emma Olivia Blanco. Ma'am Emma.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to present to you our resource speaker. She is a woman of substance. Her name is a fixture in community service and involvement during her stay in Riyadh, having been involved in Comsofil and Toastmasters International. She was featured as one of the thought leaders in Ilustrado magazine's 100 Most Influential Filipinos in the Gulf in 2015. Holding degrees in anthropology, development, communication, and media studies. A mentor, a distinguished Toastmaster, a researcher, a speaker, and a community leader. Please welcome DTM Jovette Lopez as our resource speaker.
Thank you very much, Ma'am
Thank you
Emma.
very much.
You're welcome.
Before I would give the control of the screen to Ma'am Jovette, I would like to remind our participants that should you have any questions, please raise your hand or please just send your message in the chat box. And my co-host, our moderator, Ma'am Remy, will be there to read all your questions. Thank you very much. And now it's time to handle the control of the mouse to our resource speaker, Ma'am Jovette Lopez. Let's give her a round of applause.
Maraming salamat po sa pag-imbita sa akin ngayon sa webinar series ng Comsofil. It's a great honor and opportunity to join you guys. Sa lahat ng mga mentors ko sa Comsofil, magandang gabi sa mga attendees ngayon. I still remember yung mga times na binigay ng Comsofil as an opportunity for me to grow as a person, as a leader, as a proactive person. So to begin with, ang title po ng aking session is about being positive. So I called it, Are You Tested and Positive? So how to be proactive. So before we begin, ang tanong ko po sa ating mga nasa webinar ngayon at sa mga nakikinig, why did you join Comsofil? Anyone who would like to answer? Why did you join Comsofil?
You can raise your hands po so that Sir Bonichi will allow you to speak.
Okay, let's proceed. Some of you will say to gain new knowledge and skill and to teach others. Maybe to get certification and accreditation. And for some to have job opportunities. Let's say to have more acquaintances and to meet new people. To volunteer and to serve. And some of you would say to plan for retirement and repatriation. Tama po ba? So now my second question. Also, it's other reasons like desire. Okay, so these are some of your possible answers kung bakit tayo nag-join ng Comsofil. Okay. So yung second question natin, why do you stay in Comsofil? Sa lahat ng mga matatagal na sa Comsofil, pwede po bang mag-raise ng hand kung sino gustong magsagot? Why do you stay in Comsofil? Anyone?
Okay, si Mr. Antonio Galleta, please speak up.
Yes, sir, Gayeta. Sir Eckhart.
Mr. Galleta, go ahead and speak up.
You may speak po, Sir Galleta. Baka naka-mute po kayo. Please unmute your microphone.
Ayun, no? Narinig ba ako?
Yes.
Ayun, no? Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat.
Magandang gabi ho.
Lalo na itong mga nasa New Zealand. Tama ba ako? Sa presidente natin, lahat kayo, especially Mr. Juanicio Landay. Ang tanong mo sa akin, bakit ako nag-i-stay sa Comsofil?
Opo.
Okay. 1999, nag-start ako sa Comsofil as a member. Pwede kwento?
Go ahead po.
Kahit mahaba, no? I-share ko na lang. Okay, tingnan ko lang, 1999, on that time, nakita ko si Mr. Juanichi, lahat ng mga Alex Del Pilar, lahat sila nandun sila. Nandun pa kami sa hotel nung araw. Nung kami nag-seminar, afterward, para bang nagustuhan ko siya.
Wag ako
Oo. Oo. And nagustuhan ko yung proseso. Meron pala rito maganda. Na hindi, kasi yung computer ng araw, 386 pa yun eh. Parang gano'n ang mga computer. No? Parang nagandahan ako sa binibigyan ng seminar. And then afterward, nagkaroon ng tinatawag na classroom. Meron na. Ang mga mga board of director, mga board of BOT, may kanya-kanya silang computer dinadala. Ganyan kahirap sila nung araw. Wala pa silang pera. Dala-dala ng computer, kumbaga, hindi sabihin, wala talaga sila nagdala. Ngayon, mag-attend ako ng isang cluster. Si Sir Edwin Pontiveros, yeah. And afterward, natutuhan ko yung tinuro sa akin. And then, isa akong AutoCAD operator ng araw. Sabi nila, i-share ko na yung knowledge ko. Sinare ko ngayon yung knowledge ko. Hanggang sa naging nasa puso't damdamin ko na lahat yung ComSopil. Naging instructor ako, naging volunteer, and afterward, marami na nangyari, kumbaga. Ang pinakamaganda, year 2003 yata, o 2003, yeah. Pumasok ako sa board of director. Yun. And afterward, tuloy-tuloy, nag-aaral din ako. And then the year of 2005, natutuhan ko yung mga Photoshop na yan kung ano-ano. And 2007, nakuha ko ng Saudi Hollandi Bank. Yun ang maganda ron. As a motion graphics ng Saudi Hollandi Bank. So, ika nga, nandun ako dati sa ganung posisyon, bigla akong umangat. And then yung mga ika nga na nangyari sa ComSopil, naging kuha ko na siya. Naging close ko na ang ComSopil. Andyan yung volunteerism, nandyan ang lahat. Naalala ko nga pala si Madam Jobet o si Miss Jobet, nakagandahan na talaga. Tama ba yun na press? Ngayon, naging estudyante ko yan.
Yes. Sasabihin ko pa po yun eh.
Tuloy-tuloy yan, tuloy-tuloy lahat. Pati, okay.
Thank you very much po.
Nadayo pa ako ng Alcobar. Alam ni Mr. Wanichi yan. Tinatravel namin yan para magkaroon kami ng maibigay sa mga OFW, sa mga natutuhan mo.
Okay.
And from 1999 up to 2015, siguro ang dami kong pinagdaanan sa board of director. Sabi nila mag-presidente ka na, ayaw ko maging presidente.
Yeah.
Kasi pag naging presidente ka, nandun ka na lang sa isang tabi. Mas maganda yung board of directors sa totoo lang. Nandun yung challenge sa lahat ng naroon na talaga. Pero pag naging presidente ka, parang pag nakatapos ka, naisip ko yun eh. Nasa isang tabi ka, pero ikaw pinakamataas sa lahat.
Okay.
Yan. So,
maraming salamat po, Sir Eckhart, sa pag-share po ng life story niyo sa ComSopil. So, totoo po na naging estudyante po ako ni Sir Eckhart. And from there, nagtuloy-tuloy na rin po yung journey ko sa ComSopil. So, bakit nga ba tayo nag-stay sa ComSopil despite sa tagal na ng dahil sa mga marami na ring nangyari sa organization, pero patuloy pa rin tayo nagsaserve. So yun nga, kasi we continuously want to learn and we want to teach what we learn and to serve and advance, kagaya na sinabi ni Sir Eckhart, to advance, nagkaroon tayo ng job opportunities and so on. And of course, we also enjoy and meet new people. We create friends and colleagues around. And it becomes a habit. Kaya tayo nag-stay sa ComSopil. So, sa experiment na ginawa ng MIT sa lab nila, meron tayo makita dito na mouse or rat. In-experiment nila o in-study nila yung nakokontrol ba talaga yung habit ng rat kapag may narinig siyang sound. Saan siya pupunta? So for several weeks, they did this experiment. May certain sound na piniplay and then may reward either dito sa chocolate milk or sa water. And guess what? Na-find out nila na kahit yung mouse or yung rat could develop a habit. So how much more tayo as a person? So in a study conducted there is this methods for studying habitual behavior. Sabi dito ay ang habit formation daw refers to a process by which goal-directed behavior becomes automatized and less sensitive to changes in the value of the goal. It has clear relevance for our understanding of skill learning and addiction. So, ibig sabihin, pag patuloy natin ginagawa ang isang bagay like surveying or going to Comsopil to learn, and any parts of our lives na patuloy natin ginagawa, nagiging habit na siya, nagiging part na ng ating personality development. So, in line with that, ang tanong natin, can we control our habits? Or can we turn off our habits instantly? So, these experiments reveal the possibility. My topic for today has to do with habit, number 1 of Stephen Covey. I'm not going to discuss the 7 habits, but it's the foundation of all the habits that Stephen Covey have discussed. So sabi dito, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, and reap a destiny. Now, we have learned about communication skills sa past webinar series. And this has something to do with interpersonal development and even your intrapersonal development. So as I said, this book from Stephen Covey was first published in 1989. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it says, to change ourselves effectively, we first had to change our perceptions. So being an instructor, being a student, being a leader, we learn how to become effective. And kasama dyan is to teach ourselves and eventually learn and teach to others what we have learned. So in this session, let's just have some refresher course lang on how we can become effective as a person, as a leader or an instructor in Comsopil, or even as our own person, how we handle life's situation. So, i-define natin ano ba yung habit. Sabi sa Webster, it is an often involuntary pattern of behavior acquired by frequent repetition. So, kung mapapansin nyo po dito sa drawing, yung red is yung knowledge, green yung skill, and then there's the desire to learn. And nasa gitna nila yung habit. Kasi continuously you do want to learn the knowledge. You want yung skill mo ay ma-practice or ma-master mo pa. And yung motivation that drives us to do it. So it says there, knowledge is what we do and why we do it. Skill is how to do it. Desire is the motivation and the want to do it. So it is the intersection of the three. So bakit nga ba natin kailangan pag-aralan to? Kasi this is for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, of course.
Can anyone say, bakit ba kailangan maging proactive?
Can I answer?
Yes po. Go ahead.
Yeah. Magandang gabi po. Maga pala dyan. I'm Remy, one of the BOD. How are you?
Maganda
Okay.
pong umaga. Gabi dyan.
Going back to your question, bakit gusto natin maging proactive o bakit kailangan maging proactive. Okay,
Yes po.
just yesterday, I looked up the meaning of pro, which is the fixed meaning, and I tried to understand the meaning of proactive, to be acting on a situation beforehand, which is really relevant on our situation right now. Bago mangyari ang isang bagay, dapat alam mo na kung ano ang dapat mong gawin to prevent it or to continue. If it is for positive, okay, paano ang gagawin mo to continue the thing, especially in a group situation, Alam mo maganda ang samahan ng Comsopil. So, of course, along the way, your journey of the Comsopil, maraming problema yan. So as a member, especially if you're an officer, a BOD, so it is but your responsibility to help the group, to make this group, this society, to work continuously. So kahit na anong klase kang tao, may kaya kang gawin. Even me, I am not very good with computer or anything like that. I'm trying to attend meetings. I'm trying to show everybody that please cooperate, but I don't say anything. I just do the action. I think that is one of being proactive. Thank you.
Thank you very much po sa sagot nyo. I like the word you said na kahit ano pa yung skill natin, kahit ano pa yung, kahit feeling natin we're not capable of doing things. But then if we are really wanting, yung may motivation tayo, yun, we still do things. So, yung topic ko, we will be able to, ang objectives natin tonight, who is a proactive person, what is being proactive and how you become a proactive person, and why do we need to become a proactive person. So, I'm going to show you this photo. It's, ano po nakikita natin dito sa photo na to? Water and soda. Now, this is an illustration of being proactive and reactive. Pag ba shinake ko yung water bottle, shinake ko siya ng shinake ng sobrang hard.
Yes.
And yet, pag inopen mo siya, it still remain constant. How about if I shake yung Coke or yung soda bottle? Do you want me to open the cap of that bottle in front of you? Siyempre hindi. Kasi itong water bottle, hindi siya carbonated, so hindi siya mag-explode. Pero yung soda, like Coke in can or even in the bottle, pagka shinake mo siya at inopen mo siya, it will explode. So that's a topic for today, how to differentiate the two, the water and the soda. How to become a reactive person, a proactive person versus a reactive person. So I'd like you to watch this short clip. Okay. So sabi dyan, we have the power to carry our own weather. Kahit ano pa, kahit ano pang dumating na hindi natin kayang i-control, we have the power to control. So I have one question, Paul, for tonight. Sir Wanichi, can you please ask them true or false question? I want you to just answer this very simple question. You are responsible for your own life. True or false? Yan, sobrang dali lang po. Okay, please answer your screen.
Okay, guys, answer it. Yung false. So shall I share the results or shall
Yes,
I relance
po.
the polls?
You can share theirs. Okay, see, we are all positive na you are in control of your own life. So, walang kayang mag-control sa atin, kundi yung sarili natin. So, that brings us to the next topic na ang title ko kanina is, are you positive? Maybe some of you will think, ano ba yung positive? We're not talking about the virus. But we are having a virus within us or even sa paligid natin, may mga virus na kumakalat. Hindi po COVID to, but it is a virus that sometimes hamper our growth. Sometimes hindi tayo nakakapag-isip ng tamang desisyon. Or even others we notice or observe them as having this virus. So lahat tayo biktima nitong virus na to. Ang virus na yun tinatawag na victimless virus. Ang virus na to could classify people that believes that the whole world is out to get them and that the world owes them something. Sila yung mga tao na nagre-react. Maybe some of us are like this. We are easily offended or we blame others, get angry and say things, and then later on we regret them. Then may maririnig tayong mga complaints, whines, arguments, and then these people wait for things to happen to them and only change when they have to. So, are we seeing that this virus contaminates one organization? And it's not only an organization, even it can be at home, it could be in our own life. So let's have a self-reflection. Do we have the virus within us? And does it affect us on how to handle things around us? Sabi ni Mark Twain, don't go around saying that the world owes you a living because the world owes you nothing. Nauna po yung mundo kaysa sa atin. So, that's just a quotation. I-define natin ngayon kung bakit ko sinasabi itong virus na to. Coinciding to the word reactivity, which is opposite of being proactive. Because being reactive is a function of feelings, moods, impulses, and other people's treatment. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ko dito? Nagre-react tayo based sa ating nararamdaman. Possibly nasaktan ka, or hindi mo lang feel yung isang bagay, or depende sa moods mo, kung ayaw mong sumagot or ayaw mong gawin ng isang bagay. It also means yung impulses. at saka kung paano tayo i-treat ng kapwa natin. So yun yung being reactive. Namamanipulate tayo nitong apat na ito. So yan, nasabi ko na yan. So these are the terms or words that we usually say kapag ka nagiging reactive tayo. I am what other people has made of me. I am what my past has made of me. I am what is happening to me today. We become not responsible or not responsible when we become reactive. So, bago tayo pumunta sa proactivity, can you give me any examples on what you have experienced? Could be at home or personal experience or sa organization of being a reactive person or mga dealings nyo. Kasi alam ko sa COSAPIL maraming times that we are tested to react. Any officer like BOD or BOTs or would like to share about a scenario in our dealings in our organization? Anyone wants to share?
Okay, gusto niyo bang ako magtatawag or you can raise your hands, guys?
Sir, magtawag ka, sir. Just go.
Aaron, nandito ba si Aaron? Aaron? Okay, si Mr. Marvin. Mr. Marvin?
Hello, sir. Opo.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Bago po ako sumagot, good evening or good morning na po yata. Good evening, Ma'am Jobet. Kumusta po? Opo.
Good evening po.
Yung tanong niyo po tungkol sa yung paano ka mag response sa pag hindi ko masyado naintindihan.
Hindi. Ang tanong ko po, ano ba yung mga nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran na napapansin mo na na-apply natin yung pagiging reactive natin? Ayan, kagaya sa COMSOFIL pag nag-meeting kayo.
Ako napapansin ko po kapag may may pinag-uusapan, especially sa BOD, na hindi kagad nakakapag-isip ng, I mean, merong konsepto, and then hindi kagad na i-apply, nakakapag-suggest kagad ako nakakapag-suggest kagad ako with my own gamit ang aking skill na i-apply kagad right away. So kung ano man yung napag-usapan, i-apply kagad, hindi na magtatagal ng araw pa or oras para ma-implement kagad yon. Kasi meron akong natutunan sa isang tao na taga-com sa field din. Once na meron kang naisip na bagay at for example, may isa kang naisip na business at maganda yung business mo na yon, tapos hindi mo siya in-apply kagad, segundo lang or a minute, magkakaroon ka ng, may tao na mag-i-implement nun at gagawa nun. Tapos nahuli ka na. Kaya kailangan active ka. So, kailangan kung ano naisip mo, gawin agad yun. Ngayon po.
Okay. So, yun yung isa sa example of being active or being proactive. So you act on things. So you're responsible. So yun yung kabaliktaran ng reactive. So let's go to proactivity. Ang ibig sabihin ng proactivity, it's a product of your values and not your feelings in life. And in an organization or in a group, it's a product of the decisions and not conditions. Ano ba pagkakaintindi natin dito? So, alam natin na yung COMSOPIL has core values and has a mission and vision. So, if you are applying proactivity, may mga times na that the organizations decide on some stuff like may mga resolutions kayo na ginagawa. So, you meet as a team and you make sure na you become proactive and make sure na tama yung ginagawa nyo at yung values ay nangingibabaw pa rin with your respect, integrity, honesty, and not because na-offend tayo or may feelings tayo na hindi gusto. Okay? So, proactive means is being aware that you are the programmer of your life. We are a responsible individual. It is our capacity to subordinate words, feelings, conditions to values based on principles. So, are you tested and positive? Yun yung tanong ko. You and I have the capacity to choose our response. In this configuration, you will see here a stimulus. Stimulus would be something na nagkakos for us to respond to a certain thing, situation. And in between is our freedom to choose kung paano natin i-deal yung stimulus na yun.
Okay.
Unlike the rat, meron tayong human gifts as a person. Mas malaki ang ating brain, mas malaki ang ating higher form of species. Sabi nga, we are gifted for human gifts, which is awareness, self-awareness. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng self-awareness? Sabi kanina ni Ma'am Remy, it's being aware kung ano yung nangyayari.
Yeah.
Yung imagination, kanina sinabi na banggit is yung forward thinking. Ano ba magiging resulta kapag ganito ang ginawa mo or naging response mo? So,
Foresight.
may mind-mapping na tayo or may foresight na tayo. Conscience.
Yes.
Conscience is the ability to choose between what is good and what is not good. And independent will, it's your capacity to decide without being forced. You have the independent will to teach, to learn, to serve, kahit na walang kapalit. And I know in COMSOPIL, yung volunteerism is there. Pero here, ni-highlight lang natin kung ano yung, paano ba natin i-handle yung sarili natin on our decisions and choices that we use. And so, let's analyze this. Being proactive means you take responsibility of your life, for your life.
Yes.
You make choices to help you succeed in life. And it means not taking easy road, just doing enough to get by and going beyond. Even if you are not recognized for it. Yan yung sinabi ko kanina. Nag-volunteer tayo, hindi dahil in the end, meron tayong plaque or meron tayong reward.
Recognition.
Being proactive also means na if something happens, kahit pa the weather is bad, bumabagyo, may problema sa organization, or worse, kagaya ngayon, COVID situation, some of us have no jobs, or in personal level, someone talks behind you, may mga tao na hindi ka talaga gusto,
Yeah.
or merong mga scenario na physical scenarios like road accident na hindi mo naiwasan, o you get a parking ticket, or worse, bumagsak ka sa test. So these are things and scenarios na mag-a-apply dun sa stimulus natin. And paano ba tayo mag-respond? Being proactive is learning from these mistakes and this stimulus and moving on. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng being proactive. I-differentiate natin kung ano ba yung mga, paano ba natin ma-identify yung mga languages na ginagamit natin. So, yung reactive, sometimes sasabihin natin, I'll try, that's just the way I am, there's nothing I can do, I have to, I cannot, and you ruined my day. Versus yung being proactive, sila yung mga tao na maririnig mo na, kaya ko yan, gagawin ko yan, I'll do it. I can do better than that. I can look some options and I choose to do this. There's also people who will say there's gotta be a way to solve things, and I'm not going to let your bad moods rub off on me. Yung mga tinuturo natin or dito sa session na to is just a refresher course. Some of these are already, we know about it. So sometimes we just wanted a reminder of us to reflect on our current scenario or current na nangyayari sa ating organization or sa buhay natin. Are we using more of a reactive language or a proactive language when we respond to our fellow officers or to our students or kung sa pamilya or sa mga kaibigan natin or as a person? Being proactive also means that you can have a can-do attitude. You take initiative to make things happen. You think about solutions and options and you act. Versus sa mga no can-do people. So waiting for something to happen, and those people who think about problems and barriers. Ay, hindi ko kaya yan. Ay, hindi pwede yan. Hindi convenient sa akin yan. So on, so on. And yung no can do people, sila yung basically na being acted upon. Meaning, sila yung yung nako-control. Because they are being controlled of their feelings and moods and other people. Bago tayo magpatuloy, so far, may poll tayo.
Yes.
Can we have the last question, which is about circle of control and no control?
What is it? Okay. Which of the following would be considered part of your circle of control? Scan.
So which of the following would you consider part of the circle of control? Actually, nandiyan na, oh. So, ano ba yung mga alin dyan yung nakukontrol natin?
Okay, 15 seconds
Okay.
left. Anyone else? 15 seconds left. So, just pick up kung ano yung gusto nyong tamang sagot.
Only one answer?
Only
One
one answer po.
Okay.
Okay, so I will end the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2. Shall I share the results, ma'am?
Yes po. Okay. So, 100% alam natin na hindi natin makokontrol yung skin color, yung color and weather, and even yung parents or yung mga tao na sa paligid natin. So, positive tayo lahat na we can control our own attitude. And this leads us to the next topic, which is yung circle of no control and circle of control. And it's also called circle of no control is also called circle of concern. Yung mga concerns natin. Kunyari, sino ba mananalo sa NBA? Yung mga comments ng ibang tao about sa atin, weather, past mistakes, our job, na nawalan tayo ng job, so on and so forth. So ito yung mga concerns natin versus sa circle of influence or circle of control. Paano ba tayo mag-a-answer o magre-respond doon sa ating mga concerns na nakapaligid sa atin? So, ang focus dito is focus on what you can control and you will experience an inner peace and better control of your life. So proactive people learn to smile about and live with the many things that they can't do anything about. They may not like them, but they know it's no use to worry. So pagka nag-worry tayo, it's also being reactive. So being proactive is doing something or acting something. Kung na-delay yung flight mo, what will you do? Mag-react ka ba? How will you react? Nagagalit ka sa PAL or sa kung ano-ano pa. Isisisi natin sa mga nakapaligid sa atin. Like, gobyerno, kung halimbawa na maraming hindi tayo gusto sa pamamalakad ng pamahalaan. Pero kung proactive ka, you do little things. Kahit maliit na bagay, para ma-alleviate yung sitwasyon o ma-tackle natin yung concerns na nandyan. So may poll ulit tayo. Which language does not reflect a proactive attitude?
Ilalunch ko na po, ma'am.
Yes po.
You have 1 minute to submit your questions.
Take note, does not reflect a proactive attitude. Okay. There's nothing I can do. Tama. Okay. And another question, which language shows or does show a proactive attitude? Recap lang tayo. Okay. I'm sure you have answered correctly. And I know that you have taken the proactive approach. So sabi ni Stephen Covey, the proactive approach is to a mistake is to acknowledge it if we do a mistake, correct them, and learn from it. So being proactive means anticipating problems, seeking new solutions, and doing your best. So organizations, we have trial and errors na masasabi natin, but we learn out of it. That's why the organization of ComSopil since 1995 ay nandyan. So may mga tao na laging nag-risk na try natin itong mga iba't ibang bagay. Okay. The poll results, which language does show a proactive attitude? Ang tamang sagot po is, let's look at all our options. So yung which language does show, yung nagpapakita na proactive tayo. Okay. I think we are about to have few more slides. So why be proactive? It is a key to our success. It gives us opportunities to become problem solvers, critical thinkers, a good planner, and being prepared, being goal-oriented, being good decision makers, being aware. We become purpose-driven, and we respond to things. So how do we become proactive? Let's do act, because action changes things. So a self-reflection can say, what can I do to better myself? Of course, we attend ComSopil, we attend seminars like this, leadership training, communication training, and other trainings that can advance us. So, my question, are you tested? Definitely, all of us are tested in our lives. We have stimulus around us that keeps us being tested over and over. Paano tayo nagre-respond? As a proactive ba? Or a reactive person? I have 2 more slides left. What others see us first is our personality. These leadership and communication trainings develop our character, which is yung roots natin. And that is the real source of lasting effectiveness. If you want to become effective person, effective leader, we develop our character and then our personality as well. Pero most of the time, being proactive is having a character that is based on our values. Ano ba ang values natin as a person? Hindi ko na i-elaborate itong slide na to, pero ito yung differentiation ng reactive leadership versus proactive leadership. So I'll give you a few minutes to read. Anyone who wants to read it, kung ano yung reactive leader. Anyone who wants to read yung reactive leader and yung pagiging proactive leader.
Anyone, please raise your hands kung sinong gusto magbasa.
Okay, so
Mr. Eliasar Bantilio. Okay, si Miss Cristina Cabral. Please go ahead. She raised her hand.
okay.
Good evening po. A reactive leader needs to have and use own answers, is detail-oriented, makes decisions by self, pushes for results, reacts to change, teaches team to expect direction, is concerned about self first, produces reports first, is afraid of losing control, focuses on finding and fixing problems, and quick to punish for mistakes, uses rules to make decisions.
And how about yung proactive leader? Anyone?
Okay, Mr. Edgar sorry. Edgar, sino ba yung nagtataas ng kamay? Mr. Cloud, B. Shell Cloud. Go ahead, Ma'am, Miss Cloud. Mr. Bishel R. Cloud. Go ahead, please.
Ingay niya, narinig kayo. Recorded to.
Miss Bishel Cloud. Okay, paki-unmute po yung sarili niyo, Ma'am Miss Bishel R. Cloud. Baka nagsasalita na kayo, hindi niyo napansin na nakamute pa kayo. Go ahead. Wala po kami marinig. So siguro may technical issues kayo dyan. So I will call other yung ibang tao na nag-raise ng hand. Si Mr. Edgar Paragison, nag-raise ng hand. Go ahead, Mr. Edgar.
Yes, sir. Proactive leader. Is my voice clear, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Understands the power of and uses team in solving problems. Is coaching oriented. Requests that team members make decisions. Shares a vision so compelling the team wants to move towards it. Persists and influences change. Teaches team to be self-reliant. Models teamwork and concern for greater job. Creates and communicates values first. Knows giving up control yields the best outcomes. Focuses on achieving performance outcomes. Helps team to learn from errors. Uses principles to make decisions.
Thank you very much po sa mga nagbasa ng reactive leader. Maganda kasi na naririnig natin to and we reinforce ano ba yung difference ng mindset ng reactive leader and proactive leader so that in return when we serve our organization, we will know how to focus on being proactive. Ayan. Okay. Kanina sinabi ko kung bakit natin dinidiscuss to. Kasi we want to become a transition person from our bad habits to have good habits. So being proactive is a habit. So paulit-ulit natin na magiging habit na maging proactive. We become a transition person and we model a positive behavior, strengthening and building others in positive way. So this is my last slide. I only want to say na thank you for listening. I know we have around 2 hours ba? Oh no, 1 hour na nakinig kayo sa session na to. So, do we still have time, sir?
Yes, we do have plenty of time. Go ahead.
Okay, I think we have a poll about the virus. Go ahead, sir.
Dangerous attitude illness.
Victims virus.
Victims or victimis.
Yeah. Yes.
Victimitis. Okay.
Okay. So which of the following describes the dangerous attitude? Recap lang tayo.
Ano kaya ang tamang sagot?
Isa lang. Ano ba
Isa
yung
lang.
ano bang virus ang kadalasan natin na nakikita sa kapwa natin or sa sarili natin? Yan.
So ano yung dangerous attitude or pangit na attitude?
Okay.
10
Are we
seconds
all-
remaining.
Okay.
5 seconds. So, yung hindi pa nakapag-submit, nag-submit na po. Alright, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Paul. Share ko po.
Po. Okay. Tama po. Blaming others when things go wrong is a dangerous virus or attitude. Yeah. Do we still have poll questions that we haven't put up?
Meron pa po.
Okay, I think this is
Yung
the last question.
Definition. In definition.
Okay. Last question po. Being proactive or be proactive means what? Being an athlete, renewing yourself regularly, think everyone can win, or take responsibility for your own life. Medyo tricky yung question, pero I think kaya nyo naman sagutin yan. Ano ba talaga ang totoong meaning ng being proactive?
$15 seconds left. Meron pang mga 10 na hindi pa sumasagot. Sampu na lang. Lalakad na. Aandar na. Alright.
Okay. Being proactive means taking responsibility for our own life. Yun po yung tamang sagot. Ayan. So, may mga katanungan po ba tayo so far sa ating topic tonight? Or do you want to share something na tungkol sa ating topic ngayong araw na to?
Anyone po na may gustong may katanungan, please raise your virtual hands. Okay, si Miss Perlita. Asan na siya? Nawala. Anyone? Kung sino yung may katanungan, raise your virtual hand. So, si Miss Cheryl Mortella.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, thank you for this sharing, Miss Jovette. It's really a nice topic na a reminder for everyone, no? Like, I want to share dahil sa role ko as a retention officer, every day I've been exposed to different issues sa mga taong pumupunta sa office because there is something na they are fighting for sa buhay nila. Sometimes, as human as we are, makikinig ka, ready to answer. Parang nagiging more reactive at that time. And the topic really is a good reminder na in my role, dapat proactive ako because ako nga ang nandun para to make a difference sa buhay nila. Now, it's just ano na gusto kong i-share na sa anytime sa mga pangyayari sa buhay natin, wala po tayong control sa mga pangyayari. But we have full control paano tayo mag-react sa sitwasyon. Thank you for your sharing, Jovet. It's a really timely ano. Thank you po.
Salamat po, Ms. Cheryl Mortella.
Okay, next is si Mr. Marvin ay nag-raise ng hands. Go ahead, Mr. Marvin. Mr. Marvin, nag-raise po kayo ng hands. Baka hindi nyo napansin, nakamute pa po kayo. Mr. Marvin Dumalaon, you are raising your hands. Nakamute po kayo. Please unmute yourself. Go ahead po, Mr. Marvin. Habang inaantay po natin si Mr. Marvin, sino pa po ang gustong mag-share? Please raise your virtual hands.
Ano po ba yung mga natutunan natin or ano bang ma-share nyo tungkol sa topic natin ngayon? Parang medyo malalim at marami yung ating tinalakay. Okay. Sabi ni Miss Perlita, I want to say thank you, Ma'am Miss Jovet. Malinaw at naiintindihan po ang paliwanag. So thank you rin po, Miss Perlita. And anonymous attendee, is being proactive in general is a strength? Yan yung tanong ni Mr. Anonymous. Meron kasing tatlong types ng tao. One is reactive person. The other one is proactive. At merong din tayong passive person. So saan ba natin ma-identify yung sarili natin? Passive person is just waiting things to happen. It's also like reactive. Passive is not doing something. Like observer ka lang. Ang tanong mo, is being proactive in general a strength? Yes. Because it helps us to become ready to answer in a positive attitude. Having the mindset in life like that can help us become effective person. Dun sa 7 habits na sinasabi ni Stephen Covey, kung hindi mo mapapractice yung habit number 1, which is being proactive, ang tendency is you won't be able to succeed the rest of the 6 habits. So foundation habit ang being proactive. Being proactive is a strength. So yun ang aking masasagot. In general, this is a strength. That's why we are trying to discuss this topic in order for us to develop our leadership, our personal, interpersonal, and interpersonal skills when dealing. So
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead po.
Okay, before we had this webinar, I overheard a music entitled Sacrifice. So I was thinking, is sacrificing a reactive or proactive?
It depends on the stimulus being presented. In the sacrifice kasi, pwede kasi nating sabihin we sacrifice our time when we serve, di ba? So that's proactivity in the sense that you're doing something to act on the situation. You're sacrificing. Depende kasi kung ano yung isa-sacrifice mo. Is it your values? Is it kailangan bang i-sacrifice ang values to win friendship or to win relationship? Which is you have to question yourself and reflect. So ano ba ang ibig sabihin mo, ma'am, if when we say we sacrifice?
Very personal, never mind.
Okay. So,
I have another question.
yes po.
Nay, can I continue?
Sure.
Okay, this is about my job. Okay, what is the best strategy to be proactive? Okay, if you are in an egoistic group, self-centered group, you know, you are with them, then what can I do like to be a proactive? I belong to
Okay.
that group. Okay.
Okay. First is to have a we can do attitude. It's not just focusing on yourself. Dapat open tayo to hear others. Ano ba ang sitwasyon nila? We are all also open to change. We are
Miss,
also
it's more on racial discrimination I'm talking
okay.
about.
Racial discrimination. Communicate. Be positive in communicating. I know that when there are people that intimidates you, the tendency is tumitiklop tayo.
Yes.
Now, why can you be the person to reach out? Why can't you be the person to reach out? So that you would understand that person. So be smiling always, be approachable, be attentive and listen. In that way, you would understand them why they are behaving like that. And in return, they will understand you. So communication is still the solid foundation on this. So you have to do something. And there's also a question here, how do you motivate other people to be proactive? How do I motivate other people? Ano ba ang okay, how do we motivate other people to be proactive? Sa palagay ko, we can motivate people by our actions. Okay? And by communicating our values. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Kung tayo ay meron tayong mga ideas na gusto nating i-present sa, for instance, sa isang grupo or sa ating meeting, and alam mo na makakatulong yon, other than suppressing it, so tell it in a nice way so people can hear you and understand you. In that way, you will motivate them na to be siding on what you believe can help the group in achieving a desired results. So you motivate them hindi lang dahil at the end you will give them reward. You motivate them by seeing that you are consistent. Kasi being proactive and staying proactive is being consistent din po sa pagsaserve, sa pagtuturo. So if you can be that consistent person, and that way you motivate others to do the same. Not so sure kung you follow, pero I think it's more of dwelling first on our inner strengths, on our strengths. Kung magaling ka magturo, then volunteer to teach. Kung magaling ka sa certain skill, then be the first person to do it. Diba? How do you stop being reactive? Hindi po siya overnight lang na magiging proactive tayo, and then we become suddenly proactive and stop being reactive. Sinabi ko po kanina na it's a habit.
Yeah. It's a habit.
So it has to be practiced over and over, and in time you become positive. one important thing is to listen, to pause. Yan po ang pinaka vital na ingredient sa communication is listening. Because we are communicating sometimes to be heard and not to listen to others. So first is let's be attentive and listen to others. And then take the responsibility to answer after that. Kasi sometimes sabi nga kanina nung speaker na isa is we hear others sometimes and tendency natin mag-react agad. So hindi naman natin talaga may stop yung pagiging reactive. Yung lesson na to is reminder to us how to be dwelling on our proactive habit. Paano tayo magiging more positive? So, hindi naman natin sinasabi na you stop being reactive by being reactive. Stop being reactive by being proactive. So, it's a journey po.
Ma'am Jobet,
Maybe some of
can I
you
add?
can share. Opo.
Yes, related din to sa tanong ni Mr. o Miss Anonymous na how to stop being reactive. Siguro ang tanong niya is paano ba maging proactive, no? So maybe yun ang pagkakaintindi ko sa kanya. Sa akin po, malaki po ang naitulong ng organization ng Comsofil. Nung nagsimula ako ng 1998 o 1999 until na naging president ako nung 2001. On that journey, dahil na-practice ko na pagiging being a leader, being a good listener. So, kasi we are always planning ahead on ano yung mga dapat na gawin sa society para ma-improve ang ating society. At nung by joining Comsofil, natutunan ko na maging proactive. And in doing so, na-improve ko yung sarili ko, yung professional ethics ko, at nakatulong ito sa aking work. At ngayon ay I can say na talagang very okay po ako sa trabaho po. Yun lang po, Ma'am Jobet.
Thank you very much, Sir Wanichi. So, itong topic na to is a journey and a challenge and a self-reflection to all of us. Hindi lang dahil professional tayo or leaders or volunteers tayo sa organization. It's actually a challenge to all of us on how we become effective. So, ang tanong nga kanina is, are you positive? Are you positive enough to handle the situations that happens around you? Or are you a kind of person who just blame others, whine about it? We are not pinpointing people. We are not showing people that they are like this and like that. Pero ano ba ang magagawa natin on how to handle situations or people who are having that attitude towards us or towards others? Paano ba natin siya mapapabago ng pag-iisip? So, it starts to ourselves. Okay. So, I'm not so sure if we have reached our time limit, but I hope you have learned something tonight.
Hello?
So, Ma'am Jovette, can I speak?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am. There is a question here. Nawala na. How to stop being reactive, I think. That's the question from Unanimous. I just remember regarding the book I have read before. I don't remember the title, but it's somehow related to our topic, being reactive and proactive. Correct me if I'm wrong, or if you agree with what I have read before, that to stop being reactive, actually our responses, our feelings, moods, and like this, they are related to our pride. So if you are a kind of person that is full of pride, most probably you will be so reactive for every stimulus that happens in front of you. So
Yes.
this is what
Tama po
I have
yun.
read before. Back to you, Ma'am Jobet.
Thank you, Ma'am Emma, for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, totoo naman po yun na some of us, we are generalizing, hindi kasi natin pwedeng sabihin na yung ibang tao. We also experience scenarios like this. Yeah, na ganun yung ating reaction. We are dwelling our answers based on our feelings, our pride, and sometimes hindi siya, we offend people for doing so. May tanong dito si Ma'am Remedios. Do you agree that in a real world, we cannot always get positive result in being proactive? Yes, that's correct. There are psychological situations that we need to be reactive to solve the problem. Okay. Thanks,
Meron pa akong-
Ma'am Remedios. Totoo po yan. Kasi sometimes when we are too proactive, sabi nga ng iba, hindi nila na, hindi nila nakikita yun as a strength. And then you have to really react to solve the problem. Pero, ang point lang dito is, in the long run, you learn from your mistakes. What happened? What could have been a different way to approach things? So yun yung pagiging proactive then. We learn from the mistakes. We learn from other people's mistakes, and then we become adaptive on the stimulus that being presented to us. So, sa totoo nga pong buhay, totoo naman po na yung pagiging positive is not always happening. Pero, being proactive means that we do something about it and not just accept our destiny or the situation.
Yeah.
Meron pong gusto magsalita si Mr. Marvin. Go ahead, Mr. Marvin.
Sir, naririnig niyo po ako?
Yes.
Yes,
narinig
sir.
namin.
Natatawa lang ako. Meron kasi kung naging sitwasyon nung isang araw. At dito kasi na-test yung aking attitude. May share ko lang yung kwento. Medyo nakakatawa. Maliit na bagay pero makakatulong na
Yes.
how to test your attitude talaga ako. So, at ang sitwasyon is magluluto ako ng kare-kare. Okay? So ngayon, alam naman natin na kailangan ng kare-kare, sa kare-kare ang alamang, So, kompleto na ako ng ricado, ang kailangan ko na lang ang kare-kare. By the way, nakatira ako sa Umalhamam. So ngayon, punta ako ng Silimanya, ikot ako dun sa Almawasin, naghanap ako ng alamang. Wala akong nakitang alamang. Ang sabi nila, wala akong makikitang alamang dito, kundi pumunta ka ng Batha. So, punta ka ng Batha. So, drive ako mula Sulimanya, pupunta ng Batha. So, pagdating sa Batha, malayo, no? Pagdating sa Batha, pumunta ako sa tindahan na nagtitinda ng mga Filipino food. Wala rin siyang alamang. Wala rin siyang alamang. Tinuro ako sa isang lugar na merong alamang. Kaya dito matetest yung attitude nyo. Pumunta ako sa isang lugar na merong alamang. Pero, ano doon yung mga Pilipino namimili rin? Sabi niya, merong alamang dito. Pero ang alamang talaga is 8 reals lang ang alamang. So pagdating doon, sabi niya, meron akong alamang dito pero 15 reals. Pero dahil gusto ko yung alamang, okay, so no problem, give me alamang. Okay na yon. Na-test yung sitwasyon, yung attitude ko doon. Ang sabi niya, oh, pero hindi ka pwedeng bumili ng alamang kapag alamang lang bibili mo, kailangan bumili ka ng grocery.
Oh
Di
my
lumabas
God.
ako kasi sabi ko, wala naman ako bibili dyan eh. Bakit ako kukuha? Kaya naisip ko, dahil kailangan na kailangan ko ng alamang, dahil para doon sa kare-kare, pumasok ako sa loob, kumuha ako ng toyo at saka skyflex para makabili ko ng alamang. Okay. So, dinala ko doon sa counter. So, medyo nag-iinit na yung ulo ko kasi ayoko naman talagang bumili. Alamang lang naman kailangan ko. Pagdating ko sa counter, ang sabi nung cashier, oh, minimum 100.
Wow.
Minimum 100. So, hindi ko alam kung niloloko lang ako, pero ang talagang, yung sitwasyon na yun, talagang nag-init na yung ulo ko. Hawak-hawak ko yung toyo. Gusto ko ihampas sa ulo. Kaya ang sitwasyon, totoong nangyayari to. So, ang sitwasyon, parang naawa ko sa sarili ko na nag-travel ako, papunta doon. Tapos pagdating doon, hindi ko naman pala makakabili ng alamang ano. Tapos, nakisabat pa itong si Kabayan. Sabi ni Kabayan, sige, sir, ako na lang bibili ng alamang mo para sa iyo kasi marami tong pinamili kong supermarket. Yung marami tong binili kong mga grocery. Sabi nung narinig niya siguro, nag-uusap kami ng Tagalog. Umorder yung babae. Sabi niya, bigyan mo ako ng isang alamang. So naisip niya siguro na para sa akin. Ang sinagot ng Indiano, I will not sell you alamang. Ibig sabihin, sa mga tuwid, hindi talaga ako nakapili. So, imbis na mainis ako at magsalita ako ng hindi maganda, umalis na lang ako, umuwi. Nag-iisip ako kung paano ko pa sasarapin yung aking kare-kare nang walang alamang. Ayun. Di ba nakakatawang sitwasyon? Pero at least, nakapag-isip, yung attitude ko is, hindi ako kagad na, kumbaga, na-control ko ang aking sarili. Ayun lang po. Kahit paano yung makatulong sa ating.
Gandang example yan. So, nakita natin sa drawing kanina, di ba? Merong stimulus, tapos sa gitna, freedom to choose and yung response mo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for sharing.
Meron pa pong gusto magsalita, si Mr. Tony Gayeta. Meron pa ba tayong oras?
Kayo po ang moderator.
Okay, Mr. Tony, go ahead.
Magandang gabi uli. Marvin, yan ka ba? Okay, now,
Sir Eckhart, namimiss na kita.
Ikaw din,
Sir Eckhart, oo, namimiss natin Sir Eckhart kasi yan ang first teacher ko.
Okay, continue ko. Very simple lang itong reactive tsaka proactive. Dudutungan ko nga pala yung sinabi ni Mr. Wanichi kanina. Sa Comsupil, diyan mo makikita, especially kung board of director ka. Minsan, ikaw ang kumukontra, pero healthy yung sa meeting. Sa meeting, very healthy yan. Yung isang tinatawag na kontra, yung isa ganito, talagang maganda yan. Kumbaga, nailalabas na and the period of time na magdidesisyon kayo, isa lang ang mangyayari. Yan ang natutuwa ko sa Comsupil because 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 2015, board of director ako. Kaya siguro naman, maging reactive ka o proactive, maganda yan. Minsan kasi proactive ako, bigla akong magiging reactive. Kasi kailangan Baga, that is very healthy talaga sa isang organization yan. Kaysa doon sa nananahimik lang, wala lang, nakikinig lang, tapos nagbabattle kayo sa dadalawa lang kayo, that is not good. Pero kung lahat nag-rurute ng kanya-kanya opinion, pinakamaganda yan. Para bang yung mandato, lahat ng kailangan ipasa, nandun siya. So, ang akin lang, pumalo ka lang sa bylaws ng Comsupil, hindi ka maliligaw. Kasi pag hindi ka nag-follow sa Comsupil bylaws, medyo baka maging ewan ko lang, hindi na ako sasalita. That's, basta sa akin lang, mga board of director, isipin natin na hindi lang yung nandun kayo, huwag naman yung sinasabi pasikat, ibigay ang best, sumunod sa bylaw. Yung reactive, proactive, lagi natin dala yan. Huwag kang sa akin lang, kasi sila, kukontrahin mo kahit ikaw ay kapanalig nila, kukontrahin mo sila. Para lumabas lahat yung gusto nila. Para at the same time, pag nagpasa, good. Yun lang ang masasabi ko. Thank you very much.
Okay. Dagdagan ko lang, Sir Eckhart. Okay naman minsan maging reactive. Pero at the end, we learn nga together to correct our actions, di ba? Para sa common good ng society o to have our goal. Ang common mission lang naman natin is to ano ba ang mission vision ng ComSopil? So let's always dwell to the mission and vision of ComSopil in order for us to become effective volunteers.
Okay, thank you po, Marvin and Tony. Anyone else? We still have 5 minutes more. Sino pa ang gustong magsalita o may katanungan pa sa ating
Pwede ako mag-share.
speaker?
Can
Sige
I
po,
add?
Mr. Nomer. Mr. Nomer,
Yes.
go ahead.
Hoy, magandang gabi.
Ay, magandang gabi.
Hi, Sir Nomer.
Okay.
Gwapo.
Okay, itong na papanahon itong topic natin kasi ang concern dito is yung director na pumapasok rito yung as proactive, a leader, kung ikaw ay leader nasa proactive, ang aral dito is you have to accept the negative feedback and reverse it a constructive criticism. Hindi yung sabi nga dyan ni Madam ni Jobit na ang iniintindi mo yung sarili mo. So ito ay sinasabi natin yung ecology. Pumapasok rito yung ecology. Ako ito, ako nagano, ako. Hindi yun. Kasi we have a team. Para maging proactive, ang iniintindi natin yung team ng kung ano ang direksyon natin na tatahakin. Para ma-prosper natin yung goal natin sa proactive, lahat ay binibigyan ng pagkakataon na magsalita para yung ideas, sabi nga, two heads is better than one. So, consolidate natin yung mga ideas natin, magka-come up tayo yung magandang achievement pag tayo ay nag-contribute lahat doon sa mini-minitihin nating gawain. So, in that sense, para hindi po pwede natin ma-stop yung proactive. Yung reactive. Hindi natin ma-stop yan dahil kahit ikaw na leader na proactive, darating at darating, may time din, magiging reactive ka dahil pag ikaw ay inaasar, andun, kasi diba, pag asar talo. Pag ikaw na leader na sabi nga na-identify nga na proactive, pag ikaw ay naasar na hindi ka marunong mag-control, darating na magiging reactive ka. So, ano ang naapektuhan ngayon? Yung buong grupo na naman dahil hindi mo na control yung sarili mo. Kaya sabi nga ni Ma'am Judith kanina, a good leader must be a good listener. Kasi ito yung pagkakaintindihan natin sa grupo, kailangan lahat marunong makinig sa isa't isa. Iyan lang po.
Thank you,
Salamat.
Sir Nomer. Any additional comments po?
Meron
Ma'am.
pa.
Sir, Ma'am Emma.
Yes, ma'am. I would just like to add what Sir Nomer has said. I agree with him, and I would like to add regarding leadership. So, since we're talking about ComSopil and being reactive and proactive, ay papasok din kasi dito yung leadership style. As Sir Nomer said, sometimes you need to become reactive. There are some situations like that. That's why there are different types of leadership styles. Not all the time you are autocratic as the leader, as the president, or as the director. Sometimes you need to be diplomatic. Sometimes you need to be democratic. Sometimes you need to be a charismatic leader. Depends on the situation kung anong pinag-uusapan nyo, because there are really some passive members like this. So I believe that being proactive is a strength, but sometimes being proactive really, the disadvantage is lagi na lang ikaw. Kaya ang sabi ni Sir, no more apology. Kasi ikaw lang proactive and the rest are passive. So what you are going to do? Autocratic ka pa rin ba as a leader? Then you have to empower them. Those passive members, you have to empower them. That's why being a leader, you should know the different types of leadership. Yun lang, ma'am. Back to you, Ma'am Jobet. Thank you.
Thanks, Ma'am Emma. So later on, you will have a webinar series on discovering your leadership voice. And later, mamaya,
Yes.
not mamaya, pero in the long run, kasi we are talking about proactivity here as a habit. Yung leadership is a long way later on na i-discuss natin. I think Sir Hans have a speaker on that. So, yung leadership style kasi is different from being proactive. Proactive is a habit itself. It's an action that you need to do. Yung pagiging leader is a different thing. Pero if you have the foundation of being proactive and you do it and use it to lead and serve the society, it will be helpful in dealing any situations that comes from you. So yun yung bottom line why we are discussing being proactive in Comsopil or in our lives. Any more people who would like to share or before we end this webinar?
Sometimes, can I speak? Sometimes if we want to, like, a psychological approach, you use sometimes a reactive reaction para ma-shaken mo siya, It's not because you wanted to be reactive, it is only your way to meet your goal, to be proactive. So that is when you speak on psychological aspect of, for example, the group. Minsan kasi may grupo na kailangan gulatin no? O kaya meron ding member na napakakulit, kailangan ding gulatin. Okay? So, sometimes. That's it.
Okay. Let's take it in a scenario of a parent and a child. When pag pinapagalitan natin o pinapagalitan tayo ng magulang natin, tendency they become reacted to what we have done or sa mga bata. Pero in the end, you talk to them in a diplomatic way, di ba? So, it instills the learning. Bakit mo ba ginawa o bakit ginawa ng bata yung certain action na yun na hindi maganda? So, ipapaintindi natin. It applies to that na hindi lang dahil pinagalitan or napagalitan ka, you also, in the long run, say it in a diplomatic way or in a nice way. Kasi yung learning po, yung lessons, will instill to the child if it's hindi lang yung puro palo or pagalit, no? We also parang discuss to them or explain to them kung bakit ginawa mo yung certain action na yun, na nagalit ka o pinagalitan mo yung bata. So I think that short analogy also goes in organizations. So if nag-react ka para ma-shaken mo yung isang tao or the whole organization, in the long run, you take control of your action and what is the consequence of that. People will not like you. Totoo yan. It will bounce back that people will always have side comments or some of them will not follow you. But then again, in a diplomatic way, in a meeting and in a quorum, state again your reasons and state your goals. And then come up with the compromise solutions. Kasi at the end of the day, all you want is a desired result. Yun. Yun lang po yung share ko. I became a BOD. I became an instructor in ComSopil. And I know it's stressful, but in the long run, it's a rewarding experience because you get to develop not only yourself, but you also become an effect to others' lives. Like, kagaya nga niya, nagpapasalamat ako like kay Sir Eckhart Gayeta, who taught me to become a graphic artist, who taught me to have creativity in doing computer skills. Kasi, and in return, I became an instructor. And in life, I use this creativity, this skill that I've learned from him to become effective in dealing yung using this skill that I have learned. So ganun din po yung pagiging proactive is using this knowledge and skill and yung desire mo that motivates you to share what you have learned in life. Na we want to serve others because we have learned a lot from ComSopil. That's why we love the organization. And we stayed. Yun nga yung sabi. Ayan. Yun lang po at maraming salamat po for having me tonight and for a fruitful discussion. Again, this means that a reminder to all of us to become positive in every situation that is being thrown to us. And if we become reactive, let's find solutions or ways on how to meet on a common ground. Because at the end of the day, we are all given an opportunity to grow. And that is to develop this habit that we have, the habit to become a proactive person. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, DTM Javette. That was indeed a very, very meaningful and a very proactive talk. Now, I hope that the talks would not just fall on our deaf ears, just like what I told you from all the time na maganda kung isinasabuhay natin kung ano man yung mga narinig natin, yung mga na-discuss at yung mga na-share natin sa gabi ito. May I now ask our Zoom Master, BOT Chairman Mr. Bonichi Ulanday, to show or to flash the e-certificate of our resource speaker, Ms. Jovette.
Si Mr. Marvin po.
Sir Marvin. Actually, ayaw nyo pong sabihin to, pero Ma'am Jovette is in a place where we're in how many hours? Friends?
It's 7 a.m. dito.
Alas 7 na po ng umaga sa kanila. Nagising po siya ng bago mag-alas 5 para lang po sa ating leadership seminar.
Eto po, sir. Okay na po.
Okay. Sir Marvin, please flash on screen. Okay. The Computer Society of Filipinos International Incorporated Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to DTM Javette M. Lopez for her contribution as resource speaker during the ComSopil Leadership Webinar Series on the topic, Are You Tested and Positive? How to be Proactive. Given the 17th of July 2020 in ComSopil, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, signed by the President, Mr. Ramil T. Sumile, and Vice President for Education 2020, Trini Ehrenstein V. Basas. Thank you very much, DTM Javette.
Thank you very much po. Maraming salamat po sa opportunity.
Thank you so much. We learned a lot today.
Yes,
Thank you po.
I learned a lot din po today, and
Thank
it's
you.
two-way thing po. We learn from each other.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Salamat po ulit.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Jobit.
Hindi pa po
Thank
Thank you
bye-bye. Hindi pa
all
po
the
tapos.
support of BOT. They are here, and our fellow BOD.
Right.
Po.
Thank
Hindi
you
pa po. Sir Romel, wag ka muna. Sir Romel,
See
wag
you
ka muna
again.
bye-bye.
See you again. See you again.
Nag-a-attend. Sir Norman, nag-a-attend si DTM Jovet kahit last week nag-attend yan.
Oh, sige.
Okay, so at this point, before we bid our goodbye, siguro hindi pa nagdi-dinner si Sir Nomer. I would like to call Sir Nomer for his closing remarks. Sir Nomer, please.
Bakit ako? Okay. Okay, fellow Consilians, attendees of this webinar, thank you very much. And we learn a lot in this webinar to be reactive, turned into proactive. It will help ourselves and study and measure and the level of our attitude, because this refer to the attitude of ourselves. Measure it if it is reactive or proactive. Madam Miss Jubet, thank you very much. Kahit nasa malayo ka, malapit pa rin ang pakiramdam namin. A Comsopilian will always be a Comsopilian.
Thank you po.
For this, thank you very much. Chairman, you achieve again. And this is another achievement. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat.
That's all.
Thank you very much. Without much ado, I would like to extend, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Comsofil, I would like to extend, and all the teaching, non-teaching, and the Board of Trustees, I would like to extend our utmost gratitude to all the attendees. See you next week for the fourth leg of our leadership webinar series. Magandang gabi po, and God bless.
God bless to
Thank you
everyone.
po.
Maraming
Thank you po,
salamat
Ma'am
po.
Jobet.
Thank you,
Thank you po.
everyone.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Tayong
God bless
certificates.
everyone.
Meron po tayong
Thank you po, everyone.
all attendees po. May certificates po tayo.
Good night, Ems. Good night.
Good night, Ma'am Ren. Good night.
Thank you, Sir Ramil. Good night.
Thank
Sir
you po,
Manichi.
ma'am.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night po sa inyo. Ako po'y gigising na dito.
Good morning, Joby.
Ma'am Jobet, salamat po sa pagpapaunlak mo sa amin. Thank you po.
Walang anuman po.
Susunod ulit, Jobet.
Maraming salamat po ulit.
Okay,
Salamat
bye-bye.
po, Ma'am
God
Jobet
bless you
po.
all.
Salamat.
God bless.
Thank you, thank you.
Ang cute mo.
Jobet.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Lagi dyan.
Salamat po sa mga attendees na galing Pilipinas. Thank you po. Sa mga DepEd po, umattend po sila. Thank you po.
Okay, have a pleasant night. Bye.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
po. God bless po.
Ma'am Jobet, salamat po.
Nagpakita
Bye-bye
si
po.
Preso. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you po. Bye-bye po. Ma'am Jobet, salamat sa lahat. Thank you po.
Thank you po. Thank you po,
Salamat
Sir
po
Wanichi
ulit.
po. Thank you.
Sir Ramil, salamat po.
Thank you, Ma'am Jubit then. Ingat po lagi.
Ingat lagi
Okay.
dyan, Ma'am Jobet.
Thank
Kayo
you
din
po.
po.
Thank you po sa
Ingat
lahat.
po kayo dyan. God bless.
God
Bye-bye.
bless po. Bye-bye.